Who are some of the people that you've represented?
Um, I've been practicing for about 6.5 years, and in that time I've done um, lots of stuff from Jill Scott to Floetry and Freeway and Miss Jade and Jaguar and Kindred, and did Major Figures and Men at Large and Born Americans, a bunch of other folks too, a bunch of producers. I've had a pretty strong client roster, being kind of young.
Good.
Let's use an example of a major artist. If I have a producer client who's working on an album for a major artist, what will usually happen is based upon the producer's track record, he'll get an advance. Meaning if he's a great producer, some producers get 25, 50, even 100, and maybe $200,000 for doing a track. That's just upfront money as an advance against royalties earned. And then the producer also, based upon their track record, gets points. Points are basically percentages of album sales, for lack of better words. And that's based upon, typically it's based upon the artist contract. Meaning whatever the deal the artist got, the producers are kind of hemorrhaged into that deal, unless it's a super producer. Like I had a situation recently where a super producer basically said, no, this is what I want, and this is what you're going to give me, and I'm not negotiating with you. And you can have my tracks or you cannot have my tracks. And that's, again, I use the word super producer. That's kind of one of my words. Like to say, a Missy Elliott, a Timbaland, a Pharrell kind of producer. Those are Quincy Jones, Dr. Dre. Those are super producers. When record labels advance money to people, they don't expect to get money back. So it's not like a loan so much that if, say, a producer gets some ridiculous amount of money to do an album and the album doesn't make enough money to cover the advances given to the producer, then what really happens is the producer just kind of really gets money for nothing. They don't have to repay that money. Say again, a producer gets a $30,000 advance and 3 points on an album. A typical artist will get like 12 to 15 points. So a producer gets 3 of those. And then, the artist has to sell a significant amount of records in order to make $30,000. So whatever the amount of records that it takes to make $30,000 to pay the producer, like say, I don't know, based upon the entire album budget, recording costs and all the other producers, etc. Say an artist spends $300,000, the producer has to wait until the artist recoups, meaning she has to sell enough records to recoup. He or she has to sell enough records at the artist royalty rate to make enough money to pay back the producer. Now the reason it's at the artist royalty rate is because if you sell 100,000 CDs for round numbers, and the record label makes $8 a CD, well, the artist would only get 12 to 15 points, which is again 12 to 15%. So an artist might get $1 per record. So to make back $300,000, you have to sell at least 300,000 records, not whatever multiple it takes of CDs sold to make $300,000. Like by the time you sell 300,000 records, the record label will say is getting $7 to $8 a record. I'm not really so great at math, but it's a lot more than $300,000. So the artist only has made for themselves $300,000, which means that at that point they can start to get royalties after making the record label a lot of money and after recouping a significant amount of money. Now the producer again is kind of tied into that deal, whereas the producer has to wait till the artist recoups all that money before he can start getting a royalty. On a hit record, nobody really kind of complains about that, but more often than not, artists don't honestly make money. Most artists don't recoup. It's a fact. So no matter who you know, most of them don't get royalties from their record label. Which, more often, it's on a whole little tangent. That's why they go and renegotiate for such high monies, because you really don't get money off of that.